My name is Felicia. I'm 28. Last Tuesday at 6:47 in the morning, I was standing in my parents' kitchen in my $1,200 Armani suit, watching my mother pour coffee into my sister Joanna's cup while completely ignoring the empty mug I'd set on the counter 3 minutes earlier, and I realized I'd been invisible my entire life. "Mom," I said quietly, "could I get some—" "Joanna, sweetheart, try the vanilla creamer. It's from that boutique place on Riverside Avenue you love." My mother's voice was honey sweet, the way it only ever got for my older sister. Joanna stretched in her silk pajamas, the ones that cost $340 I knew because I'd seen the receipt on the counter last month. She was 31, hadn't worked a single day in 5 years, and lived in the guest bedroom like she was staying at a resort. "Mom, you're the best. Unlike some people who just show up expecting to be waited on." She looked directly at me when she said it. I'd driven 40 minutes from my apartment in Seattle to deliver the check my father had called about yesterday. "Emergency," he'd said. "Just $3,000 to cover some bills." It was sitting in my purse right now. "I just came to drop off," I started. "Felicia, before you go, could you take out the trash?" My father walked in, not looking up from his phone. "The bins need to go to the curb by 7. It was 6:49. I had a board meeting at 9 a.m. I was the financial director for Cascade Investments, managing $840 million in assets. But standing in that kitchen, I might as well have been 12 years old again, being told to clean up after Joanna's birthday party while she opened presents. "Actually, Dad, I need to talk to you about—" "Oh, and Felicia?" Joanna set down her coffee cup with a delicate clink. "Since you're here, could you grab my dry cleaning later? The place closes at 6 and I have a spa appointment at 3. She examined her nails. "You know how essential self-care is." Before I go on, if stories about standing up for yourself mean something to you, please hit like and subscribe and tell me in the comments where you're watching from right now. And what time is it there? I took the trash out. I always took the trash out. Let me take you back 8 years to understand how I got here. I was 20, working my second job at a 24-hour diner on Highway 9, taking orders from truckers at 2 a.m., while studying for my economics final during the slow hours. I'd just gotten my scholarship letter from Seattle Pacific University, full tuition, a miracle I'd worked 3 years to earn. I walked into this same kitchen at 6:30 in the morning, waving the letter, barely able to breathe from excitement. My mother was making pancakes. The kitchen smelled like butter and maple syrup, warm and safe. "Mom, Dad, I got it. I got the Mercer Scholarship, full ride." My father looked up from his newspaper. "Read for exactly 4 seconds. Set it down." "That's in Seattle." "Yes, it's one of the best finance programs in the state. They only accept 15 students a year and—" "Joanna needs the car." My mother flipped a pancake. "She has an interview next week for that marketing position." Joanna had been interviewing for 2 years. She never got the jobs. Later, I found out she never actually applied. "I wasn't asking for the car. I was just telling you that I—" "You know your sister has anxiety about driving long distances." My mother's voice had gone soft, protective. "This interview is really important for her self-confidence, you understand?" I understood. I always understood. "Congratulations," my father said, already turning back to his newspaper. "We're very proud." But when Joanna came downstairs 20 minutes later and announced she'd decided to take a gap year to find herself, her fourth gap year, my parents spent an hour discussing which Mediterranean cruise would be most healing for her. I paid for college myself. 4 years of night shifts, weekend catering gigs, tutoring sessions at $40 an hour. I graduated with a 3.97 GPA and $60,000 in my savings account. I got hired at Cascade Investments at 24, promoted twice in 3 years, and by the time I was 27, I was making more money than most people see in a decade. I never told my family, because somewhere in those 8 years, I'd learned that my accomplishments weren't for celebrating. They were for funding. Every promotion meant another call from my father. "Just $5,000 for the roof repair. $8,000 for your mother's medical bills." $2,000 for Joanna's car insurance. I paid. Every single time. Because that's what family does, right? 3 months ago, my father called at 11 p.m. on a Wednesday. Felicia, we need $12,000 by Friday. The property taxes are overdue. I just wired $6,000 for emergency dental work 2 weeks earlier. Dad, I just sent. You want us to lose the house? His voice went cold. Your childhood home? The place your mother and I worked our whole lives to build? I sent the money. I always sent the money. But last Tuesday morning, something inside me cracked. I was watching Joanna sip her coffee, silk pajamas probably costing more than my first month's rent in college, talking about her spa appointment, and I thought, what if I stopped? What if I just stopped? Actually, I heard myself say, I can't get your dry cleaning today, Joanna. I've been meaning to tell you all. I lost my job. The kitchen went silent. My mother's hand froze halfway to the coffee pot. My father's phone clattered onto the table. Joanna's cup stopped 2 inches from her lips. What? My mother's voice was barely a whisper. I was let go. 3 weeks ago. Budget cuts. I kept my face blank, neutral. I'm broke. I had to give up my apartment. I'm moving back to my college roommate's couch until I figure things out. I watched their faces change. It was like watching a mask slip. My father stood up. 3 weeks? And you're only telling us now? I was embarrassed. You should have told us immediately. He was pacing now. We've been counting on. We need to make plans, adjust our budget. Our budget. Not, are you okay? Not, how can we help? My mother sat down heavily. Oh, Felicia, this is very bad timing. Bad timing? I kept my voice level. Well, she looked at my father. We were going to ask you for a loan. For Joanna's business venture. What business venture? Joanna had the grace to look slightly uncomfortable. I'm launching a lifestyle brand, curated vintage fashion. I've been working really hard on the Instagram presence, and how much? I asked quietly. $25,000, my father said, for inventory and marketing. We were going to use the house as collateral for a loan, but if you're unemployed, we can't have your name on the. He stopped, cleared his throat. We'll figure something else out. I felt something hardened inside my chest, something that had been soft and hoping for 28 years turned to stone in that moment. I'm sorry, I said. I picked up my purse. I have to go. Wait, Felicia. My mother's voice had an edge now. The trash, you didn't. I'm sure Joanna can handle it. I walked toward the door. Since she's so busy with her business venture, I heard Joanna scoff behind me. Wow, unemployment really brings out your true colors, doesn't it? Always so selfish. I drove the 40 minutes back to Seattle with my hands shaking so hard I had to pull over twice. That night, I called my assistant. Marianne, I need you to do something for me, and I need you to not ask questions. Of course, Ms. Chen. I need you to tell anyone who calls, anyone, that I'm no longer with the company. If they ask why, say budget restructuring. If they ask for my contact, give them my old college email, not my personal cell. There was a pause. May I ask? Please don't. Understood. Consider it done. For 2 weeks, nothing happened. I went to work every day, managed 3 major acquisitions, presented to the board, and came home to my apartment in Seattle that my family had never visited. The apartment I bought last year with a view of Elliott Bay. The apartment with the original hardwood floors and the chef's kitchen and the walk-in closet bigger than my college dorm room. I didn't call my parents. They didn't call me. Then, on a Thursday at 7:30 p.m., my phone rang. Felicia. My father's voice was tight. We need to talk. About what? In person. Can you come to the house on Saturday? I'm kind of busy. It's important. Family meeting. Your mother insists. I thought about saying no. I should have said no. Fine. What time? 2 o'clock. I arrived at 1:58 p.m. My mother opened the door and I saw it immediately in her face. Something was wrong. Not wrong like concerned. Wrong like cornered. Come in, sweetheart. She'd never called me sweetheart before. We're in the living room. Joanna was on the couch, wearing a dress I recognized from Nordstrom's spring collection. $890. She didn't look at me. My father was standing by the fireplace holding a folder. Sit down, Felicia. I sat. We've been doing some thinking, my father began, about your situation, and we want to help. I waited. We know how hard it must be losing your job, and we want you to know that you're always welcome here. You can move back into your old room. The storage room? I asked. They'd converted my childhood bedroom into storage the week after I left for college. Joanna's room had stayed exactly the same, waiting for her like a shrine. My father cleared his throat. We can clear it out. The point is, family takes care of family. You can stay here, help out around the house, and take your time finding new employment. Help out around the house, I repeated. Well, your mother isn't getting any younger, and Joanna is so busy with her brand launch. It would be helpful to have someone managing the cooking, cleaning, that sort of thing, just until you get back on your feet. I looked at my mother. She was nodding eagerly. I looked at Joanna. She was examining her phone, smirking slightly. So you want me to move back home and be your housekeeper? We prefer to think of it as contributing to the household. My father opened the folder. We've drawn up an agreement. You'll have free room and board in exchange for domestic support and a small monthly payment, $500, to help with utilities and groceries. I stared at the paper he held out. They wanted me to pay them to clean their house. And when I find a new job? I asked quietly. Well, then we can renegotiate, but until then, this seems like the most practical arrangement. He smiled. It's actually quite generous, Felicia. Do you know how much rent costs these days? I knew exactly how much rent cost. I owned my apartment outright. I need to think about it, I said. My father's smile faded. What's there to think about? You said yourself you're sleeping on a couch. I just need time. We need an answer by Monday. He set the folder on the coffee table. We've already started clearing out the storage room for you. I left without taking the folder. That Sunday, I did something I'd been avoiding for 3 months. I drove to the county recorder's office. They're open limited weekend hours, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and I got there at 10:03. The clerk was a woman named Patricia, mid-50s, with reading glasses on a chain. I need to see the property records for 847 Sycamore Drive, I said. Are you the owner? My parents are. I'm listed as a resident from childhood. She typed for a minute, frowned, typed more. This property has some activity on it. What kind of activity? She turned the screen toward me. A mortgage was taken out 8 months ago, high-interest commercial loan. And there's a second lien filed 6 weeks ago. My stomach dropped. How much? The mortgage is $340,000. The lien is $85,000. She looked at me over her glasses. You didn't know? No. The foreclosure notice was filed last week. They're 90 days behind on payments. I sat down in the plastic chair against the wall. Patricia printed out the documents without me asking. The mortgage application was dated March 15th, 8 months ago. The purpose of loan: home renovation and investment. The second lien was from a luxury car dealership. Joanna's name was on it. She'd bought a Mercedes G-Wagon. They'd mortgaged my childhood home to fund my sister's lifestyle, and now they were losing it, and they wanted me, broke, unemployed me, to pay them $500 a month to clean their house while it went into foreclosure. I sat in my car for 20 minutes. Then I made a phone call. Richard Castellano Law Firm, how may I help you? I need to speak with someone about purchasing a property in foreclosure. I'd worked with Richard's firm on 2 commercial acquisitions last year. He specialized in distressed assets. We'd gone to lunch 3 times to discuss investment strategies. He took my call immediately. Felicia Chen, I heard you left Cascade. Where are you now? Still there, actually. This is a personal matter. I'm listening. I explained the situation, not the family drama, just the facts, property address, foreclosure status, timeline. You want to buy your parents' house out from under them? His voice was carefully neutral. I want to buy it before the bank takes it. Then I want to decide what happens to it. That's cold. That's business. He was quiet for a moment. I'll have my associate pull the paperwork. If you're serious about this, I can have an offer ready by Tuesday. I'm serious. Felicia, are you sure? This is your family. I thought about the folder on the coffee table, the storage room being cleared, the $500 monthly payment to clean toilets while Joanna posted Instagram photos in her $890 dress. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. We moved fast. By Wednesday, I had a cashier's check for $425,000, enough to cover the mortgage, the lien, closing costs, and penalties. Richard filed the purchase offer with the foreclosure court on Thursday morning. The bank accepted Friday at 3 p.m. I owned 847 Sycamore Drive. My parents didn't know yet. The official notice wouldn't be delivered until the following Tuesday, the same day they wanted my answer about moving into the storage room. But before that could happen, I got a text from my mother Sunday night. Joanna's birthday party next Saturday, 6 p.m. Please come. Wear something nice. She's inviting some important people for her brand. I almost didn't respond. Then I thought about the red folder sitting in my safe deposit box, the deed with my name on it, the foreclosure notice I could deliver any time I wanted. I'll be there, I typed back. Wouldn't miss it. The week passed in a strange haze. I went to work. I had lunch with Marianne, who asked if I was feeling okay. You seem different, she said. I am different. Good different or bad different? I don't know yet. Saturday arrived. I stood in my apartment at 5 p.m. looking at my closet. My mother had said wear something nice. I pulled out the dress I'd bought for the Cascade annual gala last year. Black, elegant, designer. It cost $2,400. I'd never worn it around my family. I put it on. I looked in the mirror. I looked like someone who owned things, someone who made decisions, someone who wasn't invisible. I drove to 847 Sycamore Drive, my property now, though they didn't know it yet, and parked on the street at 5:58 p.m. The house was lit up. I could hear music, see people through the windows. I grabbed my purse. Inside was the red folder Richard had prepared for me. Inside the folder was the deed, the foreclosure notice, the eviction timeline, and a letter I'd written myself at 2 a.m. 3 nights ago. I walked up the driveway. The door opened before I could knock. Joanna stood there in a gold dress that probably cost more than my first car. Her eyes scanned me head to toe. Wow, Felicia, someone's trying hard tonight. She stepped aside. Come on in. Try not to embarrass me in front of my guests. The living room was full. I counted 32 people. Some I recognized, cousins, family friends, neighbors. Others were strangers. Everyone was holding champagne glasses. There was a catering spread on the dining table that must have cost $3,000. My mother appeared, smiling. Felicia, you made it. Here, take a glass. She pressed champagne into my hand. Leaned in close. Have you thought about our offer? Your father wants to know. I've thought about it. And? Can we talk later? I don't want to ruin Joanna's party. Her face relaxed. Of course. Enjoy yourself. I sipped the champagne. It was expensive. Veuve Clicquot, $60 a bottle. I counted 8 empty bottles on the kitchen counter. Joanna was holding court by the fireplace, showing her phone to a cluster of people. The pre-orders have been incredible, she was saying. We're talking about a flagship store on Pine Street by next fall. She caught my eye, smiled. It wasn't a kind smile. Felicia, come here. I want you to meet some people. I walked over. The red folder felt heavy in my purse. Everyone, this is my little sister Felicia. She's, between jobs right now, but we're very supportive. Family takes care of family, right? She put her arm around my shoulder. Actually, Felicia, since you're here, could you refresh the hors d'oeuvres? The kitchen's getting a bit messy. 32 people watched me. My father appeared. Joanna, it's your party. Let Felicia enjoy herself. Oh, I'm sure she doesn't mind. Joanna's voice was sugar-sweet. She's staying here soon anyway. Might as well get used to the kitchen. Someone laughed. I felt my face burn. Actually, I said quietly, I do mind. Joanna's smile froze. What? I mind. I'm not refreshing anything. I'm not cleaning your kitchen. I'm not moving into your storage room. I'm done. My father moved closer. Felicia, this isn't the time. No, Dad, I think it's exactly the time. I set down my champagne glass. I have something to tell everyone. The room went quiet. I opened my purse, pulled out the red folder. 3 weeks ago, I told you I lost my job. That was a lie. I'm the financial director at Cascade Investments. I make $200,000 a month. I own a $1.2 million apartment in Seattle. I have $840,000 in my investment portfolio. My mother's face went white. I lied because I wanted to see what would happen if I stopped being your ATM. And you know what? You asked me to pay you $500 a month to be your maid. Felicia, my father started. I'm not finished. I opened the folder. 8 months ago, you took out a $340,000 mortgage on this house. You told the bank it was for renovations. It wasn't. It was to fund Joanna's lifestyle. The Instagram posts, the clothes, the Mercedes in the driveway. Joanna's face was bright red. How do you have no right. I have every right. Because 10 days ago, when you were 90 days behind on payments, I bought this house. I held up the deed. I own 847 Sycamore Drive. Not you, me. The silence was deafening. My father grabbed for the folder. I stepped back. That's impossible. You can't. I can. I did. Foreclosure auction, all legal. Ask Richard Castellano if you don't believe me. I looked at the 32 people staring at us. I'm sorry you all had to see this, but I needed witnesses. I turned to Joanna. You've been living off my money for 8 years. Every time Dad called asking for roof repairs or medical bills, it was you, your shopping, your car, your lifestyle, and you called me selfish. You're insane, Joanna whispered. Mom, Dad, tell me what? I looked at my parents. Tell me how you were going to lose this house in 30 days? Tell me how you spent $425,000 on your golden child while I worked 3 jobs to put myself through college? Tell me how you asked me to clean toilets while you threw a $5,000 birthday party? My mother started crying. We were going to pay it back. We just needed time. You had 8 months. You chose champagne and catering. I pulled out the second document. This is an eviction notice. You have 60 days to vacate the property. I'm selling it. You can't throw us out. My father's voice was shaking. We're your parents. You're right. I can't. I took a breath. But I can offer you the same deal you offered me. You can stay here, rent-free, in exchange for a small monthly payment to cover utilities and property taxes. $2,000 a month, and you'll need to handle all household maintenance yourselves. Cooking, cleaning, yard work. I looked at Joanna. That offer doesn't include you. You have 30 days. Someone in the crowd gasped. Joanna's face was purple. This is unbelievable. After everything we've done for you, what have you done for me? I asked quietly. Name one thing. She opened her mouth, closed it. My mother was sobbing now. Felicia, please. We made mistakes, but we're family. We love you. Do you? I felt tears in my own eyes. Because family doesn't treat people like ATMs. Family doesn't ask you to pay them to clean their house. Family doesn't spend 8 years taking and never once asking if you're okay. I put the folder back in my purse. I'm not doing this for revenge. I'm doing this because I'm done being invisible. I'm done pretending it's normal to fund someone else's life while they mock me. I'm done. I walked toward the door. The crowd parted. Behind me, I heard my father. Felicia, wait. Please, we can talk about this. We can fix this. I turned at the door. You can't fix this, Dad. You can accept my offer, or you can find somewhere else to live. Those are your options. You're really going to do this? To your own family? I thought about the scholarship letter, the pancakes, the coffee cup my mother ignored, the storage room, the folder on the coffee table. You did this, I said. I'm just refusing to go down with you. I left. I sat in my car for 10 minutes shaking. My phone started ringing. My mother, my father, Joanna. I turned it off. Then I drove to the only place I could think of. Pike Place Market has a small overlook where you can see Elliott Bay. It was 8:30 p.m., almost dark, but the water was still reflecting the last of the sunset. I sat on a bench and cried for 20 minutes. Not sad crying, not angry crying, relief. When I finally stopped, my phone was on. 47 missed calls, 63 texts. I deleted them all without reading them. Then I opened a new message to Richard Castellano. Put the house on the market Monday. List price $650,000. I want it sold fast. He replied in 2 minutes. Consider it done. You okay? Getting there, I wrote back. The next morning, I woke up at 9 a.m., which never happens. I made coffee in my apartment with the view of Elliott Bay. I sat on my balcony in the sunshine. My phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Felicia? This is Patricia from the county recorder's office. I don't normally do this, but I wanted to check if you're okay. I saw the purchase went through. I'm okay. Thank you for asking. Can I tell you something? Off the record? Sure. I've worked here for 23 years. I've seen a lot of families destroy themselves over money, but I've never seen someone save themselves like you just did. She paused. Your parents came in Friday afternoon. They were looking for loopholes. Did they find any? No, you did everything right. She laughed softly. Your mother asked if there was any way to contest it. I told her the only person who could have stopped the foreclosure was the person who bought the house. She went very quiet when I said that. Thank you for calling. Take care of yourself, honey. You deserve it. 3 days later, my father called from a number I didn't recognize. Felicia, please pick up. We need to talk. I answered. What? We accept your offer. The $2,000 a month. We'll stay. Okay. That's it? Just okay? What do you want me to say, Dad? I want... He stopped. Started again. Your mother is devastated. Joanna won't speak to us. The whole family is talking. I'm sorry you're uncomfortable. Are you? Because it doesn't seem like you care at all. I sat down on my couch. You're right. I don't care anymore. For 28 years, I cared. I cared so much it was killing me. I'm done caring. You've changed. Yes. We didn't raise you to be this cold. You didn't raise me at all, Dad. I raised myself. You just cashed the checks. He hung up. The house sold in 11 days for $680,000. After paying off the remaining mortgage balance, closing costs, and Richard's fees, I cleared $240,000 profit. I donated half of it to the Mercer Scholarship Fund at Seattle Pacific University, the scholarship that changed my life. The scholarship my parents didn't even read for more than 4 seconds. The other half I invested. My parents found a rental in Tacoma, 45 minutes south. My mother sent me the address via email, no message attached, just the address. Joanna moved in with a friend. Her Instagram went dark for 3 weeks, then came back with a post about rebuilding after betrayal and toxic family members. She blocked me. I didn't cry. 6 months later, I got promoted. Senior Vice President of Acquisitions. It came with an $80,000 raise and a corner office. I celebrated by buying a painting I'd been wanting for a year, an original watercolor of the Seattle skyline. I hung it across from my desk where I could see it while I worked. My assistant Marianne noticed it immediately. That's beautiful. Thank you. You seem different lately, lighter. I am lighter. I lost about 425 pounds. She laughed, then stopped. Wait, you're serious? Very serious. I didn't tell her the whole story, but that night I sat down and wrote it out. Every word, every detail, every moment I'd swallowed my pain and sent another check. And then I deleted it. Because this story isn't about them anymore. It's about me. And I'm done letting them take up space in my head. If you're watching this and you've ever been the person everyone takes from but nobody gives to, the one who shows up and cleans up and pays up while everyone else celebrates, type "I was invisible" in the comments. Or if you finally walked away from people who treated your love like a blank check, type "I walked away." Both are brave. Both are valid. If this story meant something to you, check the description for more stories just like this one. Thank you for being here.